Well, what we know, around 5:30 this afternoon, our officers received a call at this location. When they arrived, they had a black male that was suffering from a gunshot wound. What we know is there were a couple employees, two female employees. Apparently, they got into some type of physical altercation, got into a fight, basically. It has something to do with one of the employees being terminated, and so there was a fight between two females. During the fight, one of the females was able to maybe call her husband to the scene, came to the location, and what we know from this point is it ended up being a pretty large fight with two females and another male. But what we do know is in the midst of the fighting, there was some co-workers who tried to break the fight up. And unfortunately, one of the individual males that was trying to break the fight up received a gunshot wound to the chest. And what we know at this time now, he has passed. What we do know is that everybody that was here, minus the husband that was called to the scene, a majority of the people that were here were all employees at this security company. We do have the female in custody. She was transported to the administration building. We have several witnesses that were also transported to the administration building. And hopefully by the end of the night or before the night is out, we'll be able to have a clear picture of what really led up to this really a situation where should have been totally avoided. But again, anytime you got this workplace conflict because somebody was terminated and they were not able to maybe just talk it out or come to some type of solution, unfortunately, it ended up in a fight and somebody lost their life tonight. Well, what we know right now, that she is the person that we believe that is responsible for shooting the male. We're not sure right now, really clear which one of the females, but what we do know, we have the shooter in custody, and so right now we continue to investigate and find out actually what really led up to that as far as the shooting taking place. You know, somehow the husband is no longer here, it appeared, so we're gonna, again, those are some of the questions that the investigators are gonna have to ask. But the good news is we have the individual that's responsible. That's correct, all of them were employees. Yeah. But he was an innocent bystander. He was trying to break up the ladies from fighting, and apparently he was shot in the chest area. Hey, during the fight, obviously one of the young ladies, what we do know, I believe that she was able to go and retrieve a firearm from somewhere. I don't know if she went to her car or she went back into the business, but she was able to produce a firearm and use a firearm during the course of the fight.
Was that her gun?
You got two employees fighting. One of them was terminated earlier at another location. So they came back to this location and continued to fight. So obviously one of the young ladies called their husband, came to the scene, really probably to make situations worse, okay? Fight is continuing. You got some innocent bystanders, some employees try to break up the fight. One of the ladies produces a firearm and shoots, and unfortunately strikes an individual that was trying to break up the fight. It was probably at a work location, and they came back here, I guess, which is the headquarters, and continued their altercation. All the people that were around were transported to the administration building for questioning, and then they may be able to determine. But the good news is we have the individual that's responsible for shooting the victim here. The bottom line is it's going to take everybody really to get involved. It's going to take everybody doing their part. You know, we just can't expect the police to do everything. It's going to take community leaders. It's going to take coaches. It's going to take informal leaders in the community, people who have a lot of respect in the community, and they got to take a stand. You got to take a stand. It's got to be courageous enough to hold people accountable. If they see something happen, they need to notify officers, need to try to intervene some type of way, because everybody's lives matter, and it's going to take everybody to save everybody's life. Well, those days of snitching, you know, this thing about snitching, we need people to speak up. It's very interesting that people want to speak up when maybe their loved one or somebody has been victimized, but you know, we need to be extremely proactive. Everybody in the community need to be proactive rather than reactive. We see something and you think something is about to happen. If you know of anything, get us some information, because that is the way I think that you can really send a message to the criminal, is that if something happened in an area of town, the community come together so fast, they collaborate with information, get it to law enforcement, and we make an arrest. It sends a strong message that crime is not going to be tolerated. And those days of just, hey, a snitching, listen, sometimes the snitching makes an impact in the community. And the snitches, to me, are the individuals who are bold enough and courageous enough to take a stance and say, listen, I'm going to get involved and do something.
Thank you.
All right?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.